Hey, question! Why was Shadow teleported to another world after defeating Ragnarok? You see, according to that we saw in the anime, he has suddenly sucked in some kind of black hole that took him back to his home country, his native Japan. Why did this happen? Well, the explanation is actually slightly different in the novel. It turned out that after he destroyed the Black Rose with the I Am Atomic, this black circle of void appeared, and Shadow was not absorbed against his will. What really happened is that the boy wanted to escape his friends because he owed them money. Do you remember very well that in the previous arc? In this one of John Smith, when he causes the economic collapse in his mind, he had destroyed the coffers of the Mitsukoshi group, and in the boy's mind, he still believed that his friends held a grudge against him for that had happened. And he felt even worse when he saw Veta and Epsilon on arena facing all the Black Rose monsters. You see, Shadow is not fully aware that the Shadow Guarded is his group. It is his organization. He thinks that they are really all the workers in this group who are then servants of his friends, but not him. So, when he saw all of them at the fake wedding meeting fitting to see monsters, an idea came to his mind. My God, they'll come to collect that I stole from them. In fact, this is also one of the explanations why Shadow finds himself in Oriana's kingdom. He wanted to escape from his friends so as not to be held accountable, and when they finally caught up with him, he had to escape. Therefore, he decided to jump into the black hole that he did not know exactly. Where was he going to stop it? At first, he did not believe it that his hole was going to teleport him off another world. He thought it would just look cool from his perspective, from him to comment that we saw now going to enter the world of the shadows. He would walk into that hole and nothing would happen, and it seemed like it's too late and he would run away from his friends. But what he did not expect is that hole would actually teleport him another world, and to the curiosity of those who were watching the episode, Beta did not stay watching. Seeing that her master had jumped into the projection, she immediately wanted to accompany him and jumping right off the herd black, saying that she shouldn't please wait for him. And in the end, the circle was sealed, and those two were trapped in the another world, in Mother Japan, where Minoru Kage came from. Oh, my dear heroes, please be welcome. Probably you don't know me, but I will introduce myself. My name is Mr. Mikael, and I love giving you curiosities, comparisons, fun facts, or the late essence of the most of the series that we share, and from time to time, I give you some spoilers that I miss out there. So, if you are interested, I knowing that the main difference are between both versions, the animated one and the novel, come with me. I won't take up much of your time. I hope, I believe, I expect. So sit back, grab a soda. If you want, put on background music so you can accompany it with my melodious voice. Because we will start with number 1. Eta. the last of the 7 shadows to join this group. This girl is crazy, without a doubt. In fact, she has a rather cruel history of generated very dangerous experiments for society and for humans. Her inventions, of course, have advanced the human development of this society. It even brings great economic benefits to everything it develops. She has created public light and independent nuns that use the aqueduct system. And for war aspect, she has also created a PM force field that is capable of dispersing all magic in a certain rank with exceptions. Sometimes she used to betray the 7 shadows on one occasion when she wanted to dissect a specimen that came from another world. And even, listen to me carefully, this woman has tried to kill Shadow in several occasions. She has used dragon-killing poisons. She has opened his head. She has tried to explode her brain. She has tried to set him on fire and kill him in the most creative ways possible. But she could never do it because he was incredibly hard, like the bull's balls. Eda, in her heart, holds a promise that one day she wouldn't kill Shadow. She didn't know how, but when she did, she would take care of dissecting him to learn all this wisdom of the Shadow, the secrets that were hidden. Number 2. This scene is wrong. In fact, they did it to make it look more cinematic, more epic, where an Eminences sends his army to fight the bad guys. But let us remember that Kage doesn't know that Shadow Garden is his disposal nor that he has subordinates. From his point of view, he is alone against the world. Then, as it really should have happened in the novel, it was Epsilon and Beta who ordered the workers to fight when the monsters dispersed and attacked the civilian populations. The duty of their warriors was to eliminate them and protect the no-combats. It was said that one of the monsters that was bringing down the laws, the normal ones, could only be affected if more than the magic swords grouped together and were willing to risk their lives. Among the warriors who were fighting on behalf of the Shadow Guardians, those numbers that did not even reach their digits were able to confront, eliminate and besiege that army of monsters. It was Shadow who was in the distance, visualizing all these brawls, that he decided to get into the fight. Number 3. This sense when Mordred is threatening Beta and Epsilon is slightly different in the novel. Maybe they wanted to avoid a few copyrights. Let's first look at the Mordred's voice actor. He is the same as Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and this sense used the same reference from the fight between Jotaro and Dio. He tells them that if they really think they are so brave, they shouldn't approach him and try to hit him. And this is when they respond figurative, because it's okay. We are going to get closer, and they both walk towards him in the same way as happened at JoJo's. But it is well just a second before Mordred attack that Epsilon and that Epsilon jumped back, ducking the attack that was made at her the invisible sword. This was the reference JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but they didn't put in this, perhaps because they wanted to avoid the problems or the story descent was focused on something else. Number 4. Epsilon Fight's method is revolutionary. It turns out that in this world, to be able to confront magical creatures, you need to involve a sword with magic power. But why specifically is a catalyst needed? Why does it have to be used? Because the reason is because magic power is very unstable. Generally, when it leaves the body, it begins to dissipate or lose the control. That is why Swordsmen use this sword to fight, but that Epsilon did was beyond the logic. She, with the incredible precision of her power, exploited her magical force out her body, out of her sword, increasing her range to attack. Act that is really a mistake. It is really very impossible in this war. From that she have told him, the magical power is uncomfortable and dispersing, but she thanks to her absolute control could do it. If Swordsmen could replace it, if they could simply attack with pure magical power, they will all throw down their sword, words of the novel, and fight with bird hands. It is something only Epsilon can do. Number 5. Oriana. Well, how do I tell you about the Oriana? She really is a very clumsy for not realizing Shadow's identity. She has seen him without a mask on so many occasions, but she is still not able to relate him to her friend from her school, Sid. But it was of the end of this arc that she throws about the possibility all the words he had said. The superimpositions of her seats of her playing her piano thing made him think, perhaps, suddenly it is. No, it's impossible, but if it were real, perhaps this person could be. And boom! Shadow escaped from the black hole. Number 6. Kage is supposed to say in this sense, in a dramatic way, in his schizophrenia, "Wow! This is the first time an enemy has caused me so much damage, like you," just because he had received a magical impact, feelings all over his face that burned his bangs. Little dialogue that was not missation. You see, when he received the blow from the front, he had to activate a defensive actions, which he had practiced a lot as a child. He received all the magical shot with your arms, and then he jumped back, powered by its own magical power to cushion all the impact, and then divert it along the way. Sometimes he had developed more than anything when he was a child, and he was more vulnerable to being hurt. Number 7. You will see, as Mordred was teaching about the true nature of these wars, of the interconnection between other realities, of parallel worlds and demons. Beta and Epsilon already knew a lot about these things. In fact, they simply asked him for the information to confirm your knowledge, if what he said and what they knew coincident. So this meant it was true, but Who didn't know anything about this? It was Ross Ariane. She met a man named it, and she was very attentive before all these words murdered saints. She learned them one by one so as not to forget them. And what caught his attention the most was Ragnarok rank, the creature with which or belonged and most powerful Shadow was confronting. Turned out there were many hells. In total, who knows how many the demons Diabolos came from the first hell, and the Ragnarok is the ruler from the fourth hell. There would be the most powerful creatures from the other dimensions. That is why Mordred was quite confident that he was doing to beat any of his enemies, no matter whose it was. What is why when he's found to a broken Ragnarok without arms, these members, oh my god, he couldn't take it in, and he just went into the crazy stage. Number 8. Why couldn't Kage easily defeat Ragnarok and Mordred after having eaten his flesh? It is not because he is the most powerful. Well, yes, he is the most powerful, but that is not exactly why he won. In fact, he was playing a lot of Dark Souls. He recognized that the attack powers and the magical power of these warriors was great. She has powerful strong enough to hurt him and cause several injuries. But that really happened? That it is that in the mid of the battle he realized that third creatures are not reasoning. He has asked if it were a concert, an artificial intelligence, that he ordained him to attack in the same consecutive way. Of course, yes. When he took damage, he becomes a little more alert, increasing his defense, and he was a little more attentive to that is going to happen. But all his movements were predictable, as if they were programmed in advance. Henceforth, at the beginning of the battle, he simply learned their attacks paramount, dug it, and when he was finally able to learn it, what vile demons, what vile monsters for Dark Souls, he defeated him without much effort. Number 9. And as the last curiosity that I can offer you as a tribute, it is about the end of the second season. It turns out the Kage doesn't come from the sky to save Akane, but this shouldn't happen because they way from found each other. It was very different. It was inside a nest of monsters. There, while they pretended to be people, refused for another place. And nothing more, my friend. This was your friend, and I wish you happy night. I will see you another late. Bye bye.